Can't miss this one. Real high-level stuff. The 0-3 Broncos. And even if you could be worse than 0-3, even though you're only 0-3, that would be the Jets. They're the worst team in football. They're terrible. Yesterday, Denver head coach Vic Fangio announced that third stringer Brett Rypien, that's the nephew of former Washington Super Bowl winning quarterback Mark Rypien, is going to start the game here. All right, so we'll see a little bit of that. But Driscoll might still take some snaps in certain situations, in or out. It would be a mistake to take Rypien out and bring in Driscoll for certain situations.
I'm going to say out of bounds because they're starting Brett Rypien to see what they have in him as a quarterback. This isn't necessarily to win the game for the Denver Broncos.
A little early for that, don't you think?
No, it's not.
No?
They got to figure out what they have right now. They know that they're compromised physically and with all the injuries that they have. Coach Fangio even talked about this. Remember, back in college at Boise State, Brett Rypien was pretty damn good. He never threw for double-digit interceptions. He threw for over 3,000 yards in 3 of his 4 seasons as a starter. So he's got experience under his belt, multiple double digits, 20, 30 touchdowns in most of those seasons as well. So he's got the skill. And I remember being intrigued by him, but he kind of disappeared once he got into the National Football League, which happens every now and then. They got to figure out what they have in him, maybe even more so just to figure out who's going to be their backup. Jeff Driscoll was okay, but he didn't wow you. And if they have an issue at quarterback with Drew Lock, they're going to need somebody not only for this year but going forward. So I think this is okay.
I'm all about getting some answers, collecting some intel. But generally, if it's my team, I want to start getting some intel in November when the season's a wrap. At least so I can put something on the board and get ready for 2021 if I'm Big Fangio and I'm still there, which at this point he probably might, or he might not be. The way I read this, a mistake to take him out and then bring in Driscoll certain situations, to me that's half stepping it. If you want to get a read on Rypien, then play Rypien.
Ain't no half
stepping. If you want answers, then play Rypien. If you think you need more on Driscoll, then play Driscoll. Now, you also have to do what you have to do to try to win a game. You're not 0-9 or 1-12. You're 0-3. And nobody thinks they're going to recover because the division's too good. They're not going to go anywhere. But still, I'm going to say, ironically, I'm going to say out of bounds because I'm going to trust that they know what they're doing more than I know about Rypien, for whatever. But I don't like Denver's situation. The Jets situation's pretty bad.
Yeah.
The Broncos situation is not a whole lot better either right now, so we'll see. It'll be ugly tomorrow night. Padres, the Swinging Friars, finished the season with the second-best record in the NL and third in all the baseball. However, key midseason pickup Mike Clevenger likely won't pitch in the wild card series and could miss the entire postseason. He's got what they're calling an impingement in his elbow, pitching elbow, obviously. He's 29. He was 2-1 in 4 starts with a sub-3 ERA for the Pods. In or out, the Padres do need Clevenger if they want to win the World Series.
Yeah, I think this is inbounds, BT. I mean, the Padres are, again, we've talked about this a lot, a little bit ahead of schedule. They have the bats and they have the production in the field. But once you get to this point, it's about preventing scoring more than it is about scoring. And so if Clevenger is compromised, I think they're in a tough situation. So, yeah, inbounds. Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to say inbounds as well. I mean, can you theoretically hammer your way to a World Series title? Generally not in the postseason. I mean, we'll watch.
The Yankees tried last night.
And succeeded.
Yes.
Just knocked around Shane Bieber from the opening. Really, with a base hit by DJ LeMahieu to right field. Aaron Judge, first pitch bomb, right center field. The Yankees never look back. You get Tanaka getting the ball tonight. But I think that, that's an anomaly. I mean, Shane Bieber didn't have it, but you do need that one guy that's going to at least give you a chance to breathe, a chance to give the bullpen a chance to reset. That's the other thing. Even if Clevenger doesn't come out and give you 8 innings of zeros, he's going to give you some length.
Yeah.
They need him to win the World. I thought they were a year away anyway, in fairness, without him. And if they don't have him, then yes, I would say that they cannot win the World Series without him. A&M quarterback last year declared he was the best quarterback in the SEC. Now, despite a 2019 season, which was pretty good, clearly not the best SEC quarterback. He wasn't. And he started this year rather disappointing in week 1. Threw for almost not even 200 yards and 1 touchdown. Ugly 5-point win, 17-12. Eesh. over Vanderbilt, and reporters asked Jimbo if his confidence is wavering in his young quarterback ahead of this weekend showdown with Bama. Okay, Mond, Fisher, and the Aggies can still be a major threat in the SEC. In or out?
I'm going to say out of bounds to this one. I think the SEC is really good this season, especially in the West, as we've talked about. Kellen Mond might be the fourth or fifth best quarterback in the SEC right now. When you consider how good Mac Jones played for Alabama and Kyle Trask was exceptional with Florida, and then you throw in KJ Costello in that Mississippi State offense. He's probably fourth. I don't think they can be a major threat. Are they going to win some games? Yeah, of course. But a major threat, I'm going to say out of bounds.
I'm totally out of bounds. They're not there yet. They just don't have the talent. And, it sounds, you can dress it up and say, well, I just missed a couple of throws, but that's also code for we got a lot to work on.
Right.
Because the coach isn't going to come out and say, man, we were just all over the map. We have to. You're not going to say it at this level unless you really have to. So you kind of dress it up. Yeah, we did some good things, developed the other young guys, but missed a couple throws. If you miss one or two throws against Bama, the margin for error is that thin, and a few other teams as well. No, they're not a major threat in the SEC, not yet. Kentucky-Louisville, certainly one of the great rivalries in all the college hoops, and coaches John Calipari and Chris Mack, who's doing a great job there, formerly Xavier. I told you that was going to be a hire when they brought him in. Mack's a stud.
He's great.
He's good. They've added a little fuel to the fire. Now, last week, Mack suggested they play this year on a neutral site because it wasn't fair that they would have to host Kentucky with no fans, all right? But then play at Kentucky next year with fans. All right. Yesterday, Cal responded by threatening to cancel the game, and Mack fired back on social media. Calipari's tweeted, "See you December 26. Can't wait." Here we go. The Kentucky-Louisville game is the second best rivalry in college hoops behind Little Duke and UNC.
I guess so. Why not? Look, they've been relevant programs, especially now that Mac is there at Louisville. They've re-risen to that level. So, yeah, I'm going to say so. In-state rivalries with perennial contenders are always interesting. Duke and Carolina will take the cake every single time. But, yeah, this is becoming there. I'm going to say inbounds.
Oh, this is inbounds. This is absolutely inbounds. Then you go back, back in the day, Patino, doing both. This is a great rivalry. There's a couple of others that are really tough. Like you mentioned, Coach Mack mentioned Cincinnati and Xavier. They've had fights on the court the last couple of years. That is a legitimately contested rivalry because the Big East is different. You've lost like the Syracuse, Georgetown, UConn, Syracuse. You've lost that a bit for sure. It's a great rivalry, and I have no problem saying it's number two. Matter of fact, I don't even really know what I would even contest to maybe put ahead of them at number two. They're number two. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.